Okay, this is part two of desktop and icons, part one. The previous video that I created cut off at the end, and we were talking about how we were able to save a file from Notepad into Raphael's homework. This is Raphael's homework right here, so I'm going to go ahead and open it. Raphael's homework is the folder that contains other files that I dragged and dropped inside of that folder too. But if you look here, you see my presentation letter. That's the one I created in Notepad, and now it's here. And I'm looking inside of this folder that's over here because I double clicked it. When you double click a folder, it opens it up. If I close this, I'm closing the folder. However, if I click once on this folder here, and on my keyboard, I hit or tap enter, it also opens it up. Another way to open up a folder or to start up a program or app. So I'm going to close this, and we're going to save another file in that folder from another app. So let's say, for instance, we're going to go into Paint this time. All right, so Paint is also found in the Start menu right over here. When you go to the Start menu, you go down all the way down to the W's. Since it's in alphabetical order, we can go all the way down to Windows Accessories, because that's where the Paint program is, and that's Windows Accessories right there. When you click once on Windows Accessories, you will notice that you have Paint right down here. And if you click on Paint, it's going to open up a program or app that lets you draw on it. So I'm going to take this pencil here, right up here in the top. I'm going to click there, and I'm just going to draw something really quick. We're going to draw a circle and another circle, and I'm going to draw, let me see, little funky nostrils there, and then maybe a smiley face, and maybe draw some inner eyeball there, and then maybe another inner eyeball right here. Okay, and then maybe draw like a circle for the head. And this is just by using my mouse. It's difficult at first, and you'll get used to it. Okay, so I drew something in this program because that's what that program is for, is so that you can draw, paint, you can bring pictures into this app and also paint over them. But for right now, I'm going to go ahead and save this, and I want to save it in that folder that's on the desktop named what? Raphael's homework. So I'm going to click on the File tab. When I click on File tab, I can go to Save As, remember? So all programs have a file and a Save As, so that you can click there to decide where you're going to store that file and what you're going to name it before you store it. Okay, so if I go here to Save As, I can click there. I'm right over here. So again, you get the window that asks you, where do you want to save it? And what do you want to name it down here? So I can start off by naming it if I want. So let's name it Funny Face. And we are going to, once we save it, call it, give it a name, we're going to choose the location where we want to put it. And remember, the desktop that the folder that I created is on the desktop. So I have to go find somewhere where it says desktop. And that will be the desktop that you see when you first turn on your computer. And on that desktop, remember you saved Raphael's homework folder. So here's desktop. I'm going to click on there. When I click there, I look over here towards the right and find Raphael's homework. If I see it there, I can click on it once and click open over here. I click on it to select it, and it turns blue, gets it a highlight, and then I go over here to open. I look inside, and again, you might not see the other files because we haven't saved any other PNGs in there. That's why you do not see it. So funny face is I already named it as funny face. It's already there. And all I need to do now is make sure that the address bar up here says that Raphael's homework is where you're going to save it. Then click on the save button down here. I click on the save button, and up here in the top, you notice that the title bar now says funny face. That means that you already saved it, and that's what you named it. So if I close this, I go to the X over here to close that program. Now I'm back at the desktop, right? So if I'm on the desktop, all I need to do is remember what folder I saved it in this case, Raphael's homework folder, right? If I double click that folder, then I look inside. Remember, this window, when I double click that folder, this window is now what you're looking inside of. And you'll notice that in the contents area here, you'll notice that funny face is there. You see? So if I want to open it, all I need to do is double click on it, and that will open anything that's in that folder. Okay, so that's how you get work that you created on your computer into a folder. Okay, so let's look at something else. What if I do not want to have these files that are inside of that folder? I could always take them out. How do I take them out? Easy. I can click. See, when I double click, I can see the files right out here. And I can just, since I'm looking inside the folder, I can drag them out and put them on the desktop. You see that? If I put them on the desktop, then I can decide what I want to do with them later, or just leave them there. So let's move this one here. Let's move this one here. See, and I'm not dragging over any folder, because if I drag over any of these folders, then it's going to go inside of those folders. I'm clicking and dragging and dropping it right onto the desktop. Okay, that's what's happening. Okay, see, now I drag them all out by clicking, holding the mouse button, and then dragging them over here in the black background, right? Because that's a desktop. But if I wanted to put them back, then of course I can drag them right back in there too. I don't necessarily have to drag them into here, but if the window is open just like this, I can grab those, drag them right inside, just like that, and let go of the mouse button. So I'm holding down the mouse button until they're in this area over here, looking inside of the Raphael's homework folder. See that? So let's get the funny face, let's put that in there. And let's get the other ones that were in there. Which one were they? It was this one and this one. So see, all I'm doing is dragging them, and then as soon as I get to this blank area here, I'm clicking, and then I'm letting go of the mouse button, and everything will be moved there. So that's drag and drop. Okay. So what about, since I'm looking inside that folder, if I wanted to get a little bit more organized, this is another thing that you can do. You can go to that window and you look inside of this window, which is your Raphael's homework folder, and they have options to make new folders inside of that folder. It's like having a folder within a folder, and those folders are called subfolders. So if I go here to the new folder button, which is right here, I click once, and again, remember, new folder. I could start typing since it's blue and name this folder already. What do I want to name it? I want to name it fun stuff. Right? I'll name it fun stuff, And then I'll tap enter on my keyboard to accept the name, and the name will stay onto that folder. Now here's Funny Face, and here's the music MP3, and I have some other files in here. Okay, this one here, Funny Face, if I want to put it in the fun stuff, all I need to do is drag it up a little bit into that folder. If I want to put the music in there as well, just do the same thing. Click on it, hold down the mouse button, and drag it over the fun stuff folder. You see that? Now we have a folder. Let me close this. We have a folder which is named Raphael's Homework. If I double click it, you'll notice that there's another folder inside, right? Because you have to look over here, because that determines the contents of that folder. Not over here. Don't get this confused. This is to navigate throughout your computer. But over here is where you'll navigate if you have other folders, such as this subfolder called Fun Stuff. Okay, now if I go to that Fun Stuff folder and I open it, then I find what I just dragged and dropped in there, or basically moved into there. You see that? And that's how you can move files into a folder, create a folder inside of that folder, and then move other files into that folder. Let's see. So if I wanted to create another folder on the desktop, remember, to do that, all I need to do is right click, go to New, and go to Folder. And a new folder will appear, and I could name it automatically. And this one, I'll name it Fun Homework. Or you can name it, give it any name, right? Then tap enter on your keyboard once you name it, and there's your new folder. And now watch this. So remember, I created a folder inside of Raphael's Homework. If I double click it, you'll notice it's called Fun Stuff. So I'm going to close it though. Now, if I wanted to drag a folder instead of files into another folder, you can also do that. You can click, hold down the mouse button, make sure it's the left mouse button, and you go right over Raphael's Homework and let go of the mouse button, and it moves it in there. So if I open Raphael's Homework folder, now you should see two folders in there, Fun Stuff and Fun Homework. And the files that were already inside of Raphael's Homework, and the files that were in Fun Stuff. They're in there. Okay? So hopefully you get a lot from this. I'll show you some more later, but for now, try to view these videos over and over again and try to do the tasks that I'm doing so that you become better at it and become more familiar with it. Okay? Thank you very much.